timetable. So we're now going to continue. And I spoke to Ms. Zulu. Ms. Zulu had indicated to me that there's 2 diplomas. One is shipping and logistics. The other is nautical studies. I shared with you the timetable. Let me share my timetable again quickly. My timetable is as follows. There's the diploma in shipping and logistics timetable. The diploma in shipping and logistics timetable tells me at 3 o'clock on a Monday and on a Wednesday at 11 o'clock. But because this is an online lecture, I brought it to 10 o'clock because you're also free at that time. If I look at my timetable, I also have the diploma in nautical studies. The diploma in nautical studies starts at 10 o'clock. And they also have another lecture at 3 o'clock, which is a practical. Obviously, we are online, so I can't teach you as a practical. So they will not be at 3 o'clock, practical as such, right? Then I also introduced you now. I started you off with my time with my study guide. There's my study guide. Just to introduce yourself, who I am. I'm TP Govender, and now I changed the study guide to include nautical studies and shipping and logistics. It's an 8-credit course. My head of department is Professor Naika. You can read through the welcome. I'm not sure if your Moodle classroom is up and running, but we'll have to check on that. The learning outcomes, you'll need to be able to understand how information communication technology works, the common office software suites like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, hardware and software. You need to know, right? There will be a test for you. We'll announce the date. Obviously, it will change because of the protest action at DUT. The graduate attributes, you can have a look at that. We'll read through that when I see you. Now, first chapter is chapter 1, computer and information processing. Chapter 2 is hardware. Chapter 3 is system software. In terms of the practicals, you will have to know Microsoft Office Suite, word processing, spreadsheets, and we'll do a little bit of PowerPoint and Microsoft Access as well. So let's start with chapter 1. Right, so chapter 1. Ms. Zulu, are you able to see chapter 1 on the screen? Ms. Zulu. Please talk to me, Ms. Zulu.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you able to see chapter 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right, so I'm going to start with chapter 1. So chapter 1 talks about information and computer processing. Great. Oh, I can see thumbs up. Thank you for that. Then I know that I'm talking to people and they are paying attention to what I have to say. Now, this is a learning outcome. When I talk about a learning outcome, means at the end of the lesson, you should be able to basically define what are the functions of a computer. What's this thing called binary, bits and bytes, zeros and ones? When I talk about the evolution of a computer screen, someone says that they are unable to see my computer screen. Students, are you able to see my computer screen? Okay, and S, you need to go and sort out your screen, right? And what are the various types and characteristics of personal computers? So these are questions that could appear in your first test. I may ask you, for instance, how many bits make a byte? How many bytes make a kilobyte? Because this is a learning objective. Give me some examples of personal computing devices. What are the characteristics and types of a single user versus multi-user computer? All right, so let's talk. Now, what's information? Information versus data versus ubiquitous computing, smart homes and embedded computers. Now, if I had to, let me just close my window. I can hear the rain out here. Right. So let's talk about data and processing. Data is unprocessed information. So something that would, if I had to mention like 20 or 30, you don't know whether I'm referring to you about 20 marks, 20 degrees Celsius, 20 apples, 20 tomatoes. But as soon as I tell you that today is 20 degrees Celsius, you know that it's a little cold. If I tell you today is 10 degrees Celsius, oh, you know it's very cold. If I tell you today is 2 degrees Celsius, you say, oh, that's extremely cold. Now, that's what I mean by the word information. Okay, Ms. Zulu? Ms. Zulu, you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, one of the students sent me a message yesterday and they said, sir, but I don't understand some words in the PowerPoint presentation. And this is what my answer is to you. If you find a word like the word ubiquitous, oh, that's a rather big word. I don't know what that means. Then you need to go and use your best friend. And your best friend with Zulu is who? Who's your best friend with Zulu?
Dictionary or Google.
Google. Your best friend is Google, isn't that so, Miss Zulu?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right from now onwards, you're gonna your best friend is gonna be Google. So you're gonna copy this word, or if you don't know how to copy it, I'll teach you how to do that. You just write this word down: ubiquitous. What does ubiquitous mean? One of the students said they don't have a dictionary. I thought to myself, oh my gosh, when I was in school, everybody had to have a dictionary. So you go to Google and you type down the word ubiquitous, UBIQU. Yes, it ubiquitous. What does that ubiquitous mean? Ubiquitous means that it is present and it is found everywhere. So now you learned a new word for today, ubiquitous. So computers, smart devices, cell phones are ubiquitous, meaning you can find a cell phone almost everywhere and with everybody, right? That's what it means, ubiquitous. So let's go back to my PowerPoint. Here we go. So ubiquitous computing, that means computing is found everywhere. Today we even wear a smartwatch. That's a computer on your wrist. Your cell phone is a computer. Your car, the cars that we have computers in it, right? So that's what I mean by ubiquitous. It appears all over. Let's go on. So now you are at a tertiary institution, you are at a university. If you are unable to answer a question like what is the meaning of ubiquitous, you need to go and do some research to find out what it is. I cannot go through every single word and every single slide. I will leave some work for you. Even the practicals, when we do start that work, I will leave that up to you to answer. So I did that, right. Let's talk about convergence, green computing, smart appliances, smart grid. So if you want to learn what is a smart grid, so let's go and write that word down, smart grid. We go to our friend Google and we go and learn what is this thing about a smart grid. So we go to Google and we talk about a smart grid, right? Smart grid. So let's see what Google has to say. What's a smart grid? A smart grid is an advanced electrical grid that uses digital technology to improve the delivery of electricity. So let's say, for instance, in South Africa, we have issues with electricity. A smart grid will ensure that we are able to provide electricity to let's say, for instance, high-end users during a particular period of time. Let's say from 5 o'clock in the evening to 8 o'clock. And during the day, we say, no, we're going to cut back on the power to that area. Or maybe we will say, listen, there's a hospital nearby and they cannot afford to have no power. And we need to ensure that power is available all the time. Or maybe there is a power station. Well, they will need, or a dam. And that's what the smart grid will do. It will ensure that there is power and availability depending on the algorithm that it has. Okay? So my point is here, if you want to learn about something, you go to your friend Google. Mzulu, you can also go to YouTube. So you go to YouTube, and there are many lectures that you can find online. So let's go and look for what's a smart grid, right? Smart grid technology. And there you can learn, wow, look at this. In 3 minutes, you can understand what a smart grid is all about, right? What is a smart grid? Okay. Again, we are living in a world where information is available to us at our fingertips. If you want to find out something, you just take your cell phone, you go through your Google, and you're able to find out the meaning of something. My task is not just a teacher and a lecturer, but I'm facilitating your learning. I need to find out what is it that you need to learn. And I say, hey, you got to learn about computer skills. And that's where I come in to facilitate your learning. So let's go back to all right, let's go back to my, right, so that's smart grid. Explain the functions of a computer. Right, so this is one of the learning objectives of the course. It says that at the end of the lesson, the student should be able to basically tell someone that's computer illiterate what are the functions of a computer. Now, if you look at the picture out there, Mzulu, are you able to read it out for me, Mzulu?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead. So what's the first thing that they
Input,
talk about?
input, you say.
Yes, input.
Viewers of a talent show vote for their favorite performer by filling out the survey on a website or by using their smartphone.
Okay, and then processing.
The collected data is processed to determine the winners.
And output.
The processed data, now information, is output and the winners are announced during the live results
Great.
show the next evening.
And we also have storage. Okay, talk to me, Mzulu.
The raw data is stored temporarily in memory until it can be processed. The processed
Okay,
information is stored on a disk for trial retrieval.
great. So any computer has input, processing, and output, and the storage means it needs to store its programs, a computer program, or it needs to store the data that has been processed. Remember earlier when I spoke to you about data and information, right? So that's what I mean by this concept of storage. Now, for you to understand it, you need an analogy. So if I had to talk about a taxi, the input that you have there is the taxi, or the vehicle is petrol. The processing is how it converts the petrol into momentum so that the engine works and it moves. And the output is the taxi moves forward. And also it gives some smoke as well, right? Smoke comes out of the taxi, right? Or the exhaust. You can think of your input processing as us eating food. We digest the food, we get some energy as output, right? We store the food. For some of you who are getting fat, that you know you have stored in your food, all right? So maybe you can think of yourself as the functioning of a computer in terms of input processing and output. Ms. Zulu, do you like my analogy?
Yes, I do.
Okay, right. So now let's talk about how computers represent data. The computer represents data in terms of bits and bytes. So you can think of the analogy of if I want to buy tomatoes or potatoes, I will need to say, I want 1 kilo of tomatoes. But let's say, for instance, you're talking about uh, I'm thinking about a car because I'm a guy. A car, I'm not going to say a car weighs 1,000 kilograms. I'm going to say a car measures in 1 ton. Okay, a metric ton. If on the other hand, I'm talking about rice, I'm going to say I want to eat 500 grams of rice, or sugar. 250 grams of sugar. I will not say I want 250 kilograms of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. Or 250 kilograms of rice. That's a lot of rice to eat, okay? So the concept of bits and bytes is how we talk of storage of data. Remember, Ms. Zulu, we spoke about storage. How am I going to store my data? So the same thing happens with the computer. I store my data in terms of bits and bytes. You can think of a byte as 8 bits. 8 bits make a byte, and a byte comes from the word, or bit comes from the word binary digit, B-I-N-A-R-Y, digit, D-I-G-I-T, and I'm talking B-I, and I'm taking the T, and I get a bit. This is mathematics. Y'all are just computer skills. Y'all don't need to worry about the maths involved in how I come to this number, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 3, 4. When I see you in class, maybe we'll talk about that. So a bit is 1/8 of a byte. A byte is represented by 8 bits. 1 kilobyte, it's actually 1024 bytes, 2 to the power 12. But we also talk about it as 1000, right? A megabyte is 1024 kilobytes. A gigabyte is 1024 megabytes, and so forth, right? Today, you buy a computer that's a petabyte. When I was studying computers, we never heard of the word terabyte and gigabyte. We slowly talk about megabytes, right? So you can talk about the evolution, the history of the computer. If you want to learn about this thing called the Turing machine, the analytical engine, what's a Turing test? And if you want to learn more about this, Ms. Zulu, where can we go to?
YouTube.
Who are you going to see? Who are you going to ask?
YouTube or Google.
Oh, YouTube or Google. Yes, Google. So let's go and read about what this thing called, what is called the Turing test. So I don't know what the Turing test is all about, right? Okay, I do know, but I want to show you how to get it, right? Turing, T-U-R-I-N-G, Turing test, right? The Turing test is an experiment that evaluates a machine's ability to think like a human. It was created by a mathematician called Alan Turing in 1950. So presently, we're talking about artificial intelligence and where a computer is able to mimic how the human being thinks and reacts to certain situations. If a computer can do that, and we are unable to decipher whether it's a computer or whether it's a human, then we say, oh boy, that's going to be passing the Turing test. All right? So it's the ability to think whether a machine has that human-like characteristic. Now, Ms. Zulu also said, let's go to YouTube. Ms. Zulu, let's go to YouTube and learn what's a Turing test. T-U-R-I-N-G, Turing test. Oh, I like this Turing test in artificial intelligence. Right? Can a computer pass for a human being? Ooh, this will be really nice to learn and watch, right? What is the Turing test? Ooh, cool, right? I like TED Talks, though, because TEDx, you can trust them what they are saying, right? So let's go and click on that one. And if you want to learn more about the Turing test, you'll simply go to there and watch, oh, what's this Turing test all about, right? So Ms. Zulu, maybe you'll want to watch this video if you are interested in artificial intelligence and learning about Turing test. Okay, Ms. Zulu? Hello, Ms. Zulu? Right. Okay, so if you're interested, you can go and watch and read about that. So let's go back. So this was slide number. Now, I'm not really interested in the history of the computer, but again, Ms. Zulu, if you want to learn about the history of the computer and you find this interesting, maybe you would like to study further after you complete your diploma and you want to know what this is all about, right? Okay, so let's talk about the evolution of a computer. If you think about it, computers are not that old, right? If you had to talk about history, you'll talk about what happened in 18th century, 17th century, 16th century. We just start around about the 1900s. And in each evolution, there was something exciting that happened. In fact, presently, the evolution of the computer is where we are reaching the stage of artificial intelligence. That means computers are now beginning to mimic what we are as humans are able to think. Right, now we talk about the types and characteristics of a computer. Types, I'm talking about your personal computer that sits on a desktop, your workstation. Your cell phone is also an example of a computer, right? Your cell phone has the ability to receive input. It has the ability to do processing. It stores data, and it also generates output. Remember, I told you by means of what the functions of a computer are: input, processing, and output. That's the very basics of it all. And if you are able to identify a device that is able to do that, then we can define that to be a computing device. All right. That would change in a year or two where artificial intelligence is taking over. I think you're well aware of a laptop or a tablet computer. Some of you are using one. Your iPad is an example of a tablet computer. All right. Right. So, Ms. Zulu, do you have a question for me? Ms. Zulu, I gave you an example of types of computers, right? So I said there's something called a laptop, there's something called a tablet or a notebook, and I want to be able to decipher how will I determine whether I'm using a laptop or I'm using, let's say, for instance, a computing device that's connected to other computers, and I want to know maybe in terms of the price as well. Ms. Zulu, can you ask me a question, formulate a question about a laptop, users, price? What would you decide would be a type of computer based on what I just said?
You say so we had a connection problem. Say
Oh, sorry. My question was about this thing called types of computers. So in terms of a type of computer, I actually wanted you to talk about the price. If you look at the price of a notebook, a laptop, a tablet computer, or a cell phone, that would determine what type of computer we're talking about and the number of users that we have. For instance, your laptop is only used by you. Your network computer, now again, if you were sitting in the computer lab, you'd be able to identify that all the computers are connected on the network. That's more than one person using it at a time. And also the price. If you think of a laptop, it's generally cheaper than having a computer that has network capabilities or cloud computing abilities, right? That's a server. But we'll talk more about that when we sit in our lab and we're able to identify it. Right, so there's my table of a personal computer versus the Mac, the PC, the notebook. I've got a MacBook. In fact, I'm actually using a MacBook as we talk, right? I'm using a MacBook. I'm connected to a MacBook. And believe it or not, I'm connected to my TV screen so that I can see it nice and big. Maybe I should share that with you. Or I'll take a picture of my setup at home. But then you're going to see my bedroom and all of that, right? And I didn't even make the bed as yet. So my criteria, not only mine, I'm talking in general, the criteria to determine what type of computer we have is determined by price, it's determined by the number of users, it's also determined by the computing ability. Now, Ms. Zulu, if you want to learn more about this, who should you ask, Ms. Zulu?
Google or YouTube.
Yay, Google or YouTube, right?
YouTube.
Yeah, so let's go and see what Google or YouTube has to offer and tell us about the types of computers, right? So I go to YouTube and I say types of computers. types of computers, right? Let's go and read up about types of computers. Let's see what they're talking about. Oh, look at that. They gave us more types. They gave us a mini computer, a mainframe computer, a supercomputer. Ooh. And there's even pictures out there. And it's only 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Maybe it'll be a good idea to watch that. What do you think about that? Right? There we go. Size and speed. Let me go and post that in our group, right? Let's post that in our group. So if you want to read up more about the types of computers, you copy that and I'm post it in our WhatsApp group, right? Let's go to CMIL. So there's a video to watch about types of computers, right? Oh, we missed this Turing test. I forgot to post that one in there. Let's go to Turing test. Right, which other lecture tells you to watch videos for? Right, I like that one, the Turing test in artificial intelligence. Can a computer think like a human being? Yeah, I like that one there. Right, so I'm going to share that, copy that, post that to my WhatsApp group, right? Again, which other lecture says keep your WhatsApp group open in class? Ms. Zulu, do you have your phone on with WhatsApp?
No.
Oh, no. With me, you can keep your phone on, but just only pay attention to what I have to say. Okay, so there I gave you more examples of computers, but for our purposes, we just talk about what I have on my slide, right? But there's also supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini computers as well. And there's also examples of personal computing devices. Your smartphone is an example of that, right? There's the gaming consoles, your Xbox, are also examples of computing devices. Any device that can take input, do some processing with it according to some program or some instruction, and generate an output is considered a computing device, all right, for our purposes of computer skills. And then we talk about multi-user computers. Now, remember I told you to go to YouTube and to watch that video? The supercomputer, the mainframe computer are examples of multi-user computers. In our case, the laptop, only you and I can use it at a time. We can't allow other people to use it simultaneously, and that's a single user computer. But the mainframe computer, the supercomputer, the mid-range computer, those are computers that can be used by many people at one time. Okay? And again, you can watch the video on that. There's examples of multi-user, list the various types and characteristics of multi-user questions. So one of the students asked me, sir, they only give us the, like keywords. Where do we find more information? More information can be found in the textbook, which I shared with you on, I'll share it with you in my CMIL class. It can also be found on YouTube. So if I want to find out the types and characteristics of a multi-user computer, Mazulu, where can I go? Yeah, list types of multi-user computers, right? So there's it. There's my Google. Multi-user computers include mainframes, mini computers, and computers that run multiple tasks. What's a mainframe computer? It's used by a large organization. Many people can use it at the same time. Right, so let's go and learn up what's a mainframe. What's a mainframe? So I go to YouTube. Let's go to YouTube, and I need to know what is a mainframe computer. MAIN, mainframe computer. And let's go and read up about a mainframe computer. What are mainframe computers? Mainframe computers. Yeah, there's an example. That's 23 minutes. I can go learn up about a mainframe computer. IBM mainframe. Go and read up on that. A lot of, wow, look at that. Isn't this amazing? Right. So I found a layer. There we go. Mainframe versus mini computers versus a supercomputer. So if you want to read up on all of that, you can go for it. But if you're just interested in just skimming the surface, then our notes are fine. Let's talk about, this comes out of quite important, agronomics. Agronomics is the safe and efficient use of technology. How you'll sit comfortably, you'll sit with the floor rest, you'll sit on about 30 centimeters away from your screen. Agronomics. Right? And then there's the summary. We are experiencing ubiquitous computing. That means computers all over, everywhere, every single aspect. Even your fridge has a computer in it. You can actually connect, in fact, the fridge we have, you can connect to it wirelessly over a network. Now, what kind of, I will ask you in the test. That's going to be important, right? So let's go to let's go to your WhatsApp, and I'm going to ask you a question, which is my famous question for the test. And I'm going to ask you the question, which is, right, let's go and post this. Right, so there's my question. I'm going to ask you a question. You can open up. How many bits make up a byte? Right? There we go. I'm going to say, is it 2? No, don't answer me here. 2, is it 6? Is it 1024? 8, and right. So I want you to open up your WhatsApp and I want you to answer that question. How many bits make up a byte? Right, how many bits make a byte? While you're answering that question, I'm going to ask you another question. Right? How many KILOBY kilobytes make up a megabyte, right? Is it 8, 1,000, 24? Right. The next question. How many kilobytes make up a megabyte, right? Right, so by the way, I can even find questions. Oopsie, let me not do that here. Oh, hey, people are getting it right. How many? All right, let me go back to my personal computers, types of computers, notebooks. Right, let's find a question. Let's find a question. So I'm going to go to Google and right. Right, so don't look at the answer, please. I'm going to make up a question here for you. Oops, it's not. Okay, I'll have to come back to that one, right? Come back to that one. Let's. Oh, this. Okay, let's go to multiple choice questions in TRODUCT Introduction to Computers. All right, let's see if I can find some.
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
Oh, sure. So go ahead. Yes, how
Just
can I help you?
just requesting that may you kindly please share the link to the WhatsApp group, as some of us are not part of
Oh,
that.
sorry. Let me do that
No
for you.
problem. Thank you.
Right. I'm going to share it in the group. I'll share it in the chat. Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine. Thank you.
Right. And there's who's my WhatsApp administrator? Let's can I share your number on the screen? Ooh, there's a nice question. A collection of unprocessed items which include is called. Right. Oh, we gotta find some. I'm finding some questions for you guys, right? All right, let's make up another question quickly. All right, so there's another one. Unprocessed facts and figures are called. Is it information or data? Right. Let's me go and find another question. This spoke about. All right, so there's it. All right, next question. Process facts and figures that have a meaning attached is referred to as data information. Okay, so let's see if anybody gets this right. Process facts and figures that have a meaning attached to it is referred to as. Let's go for another question. Let's see if I can find another question from here. All right. 1 terabyte of data is equivalent to 100 bytes, 1 million bytes, 1 trillion bits, none of the above, right? So I'm so happy there's about 44, 42 people answering. So I guess you're right. You can check that out. Okay, so this kind of concludes chapter 1. We'll come back to this just before the test. And I guess chapter 2. I'm sharing this again with you because some of you may have joined us late. Forgive me if I shared this before. All right, so I've shared all the PowerPoint presentations with you on WhatsApp. Okay, class, I'm going. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11:05. I'm all right. So let's end the lesson. Anybody with a question? Anybody with a question for me? Please speak now or forever hold your peace.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please share the correct answers on the group.
Right. I'd like you to work out the answers yourself. Okay. You are at a university now. It's not school where your teacher will give you the questions and the answers. All right. You can work it out. It's not difficult. It was very, very simple questions and answers. If you read through the PowerPoint presentation, you'll be able to work out the answers. Okay.
So
We
have a practical class 3.
I beg your pardon?
We have a practical class at 3.
All right. It's going to be a bit difficult to do a practical class when we are online. So I don't think we'll be able to do that. All right.
Okay, sir. So no class at 3.
Yeah. I can't have a practical. How am I going to do a practical right now with you? Okay. But I'll talk to you about how and what you're going to do as a practical for me now, right? I'll tell you about that, right? Please, if you can, ask the powers that be to sort out our institution so that the students are not protesting anymore and we can go back to campus, because I miss you all. I can't see you. I can't see Ms. Zulu, and she's got her hand raised. Yes, Ms. Zulu, talk to me.
If this is a question on a thing you said way before now, is you said
I can't hear you. You're not very audible. Sorry, Ms. Zulu. Try it again.
You said there are ways of determining the type of computer, and you mentioned price, number of users, and ability data as ability to do like.
Yes, so I said one of the criteria that they use to differentiate the types of computers is the number of users. Like the word personal computer says, personal, one person using a computer. So that will be a laptop or a desktop computer. But a mainframe or a supercomputer can be used by many, many people, thousands of people at the same time. Okay? That's what I mean when I say the number of users. And to differentiate what type of computer we have. The price. Yes, price will also differentiate the type of computer you use. Okay.
I'm asking.
Oh, now you sound very clear. Go ahead, Ms. Zulu.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, sir. I'm asking what the third element was. Its price, the number of users, and the computer's ability to do what?
Repeat, please.
I'm asking the three elements that you mentioned when
Yes.
differentiating the type of computers.
Yes.
You said
Let
it's the
me
price, the number of
price,
users,
number
the
of
computer.
users. Yes, number of people that can use it at the same time. And also the processing ability of the computer, right?
Oh, yes, thank you,
Yes.
sir.
So the supercomputer or a mainframe computer has very high processing ability. In fact, it has to have that because a number of users are using it at the same time. All right. You can also
Yes, sir.
consider, because of processing, you can consider the amount of memory that it will require. And you can even consider the amount of electricity it will use. A supercomputer or a mainframe computer uses a tremendous amount of power, as in electricity, all right? As compared to your cell phone. Your cell phone, it can last the whole day with a single charge, right? Or 2 days, depends how much you use it. But your laptop will only be able to work for, let's say, 2 hours or 3 hours on your charge, right? So I may have said three factors, but if you expand on each one, you'll be able to decipher, hey, there's more to talk about, criteria to differentiate your computers. Okay. Like I used the example of 1,000 kilobytes make a megabyte. 1,000 kilobytes, the actual answer is 1,024 because it's 2 to the power 12. I'm there to confuse you. But because we talk of a kilo of tomatoes as 1,000 grams, so we kind of overlook it in terms of colloquially, we mentioned that 1,000 kilobytes make a megabyte. All right. Okay, Tobeka?
So, sir, if
Yes, go ahead, Tobeka. Okay, can we leave the questions as well for the time I see you in person? Then I can we'll talk about that more, right?
So
Okay.
sorry, last question. I wanted to know regarding the timetables. So
Yes.
it stays the same, like for us nautical science students, we will only get your class on Wednesday and Thursdays,
All
right?
right. So nautical students, I see you on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and I see you at 3 o'clock, and on Thursday at 3 o'clock. But the practicals, we will not have the practicals this week because obviously DUT is closed, right? They've suspended lectures and they're only allowing for online lectures. When we back on campus, I'll post it on the WhatsApp group where we're going to meet, what we're going to do, and so forth. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
noted, sir. So,
Okay.
sir, for the
Yes.
whole of this week, campus is closed.
I don't know. All the email said was, I'm going to share my email where I heard this. It says until further notice, right? I'm sharing the email. Oh, now they closed the library as well. Oh, look at this. This is not nice what I'm here reading. They say, please note that the Allen Pittenrich Library at Steve Biko is closed due to damages. That's not right. I get very sad when students damage the library or they break windows. So now the library is closed. So let me read what they mentioned about the, here we go. This is the duty statement. It said that lectures are temporarily suspended on Tuesday, the 18th of February. Online lectures will commence on Wednesday, that's today, and will be in place until further notice. All right. So I would advise you to pay attention to your DUT for Life email account. Okay.
Okay, sir. So they will let us know when when we
I
can go
hope
to
they do. Yes, I hope they do. All right. But my advice to you is please don't, uh, talk to the students not to break windows and to damage the infrastructure or open the hose pipes or light fireworks. That's not how university students behave. All right. I understand you are unhappy and you may have to want to protest, but there's other ways of protesting, right? Passive resistance, writing an email, going to the the management and talking to them, asking for an appointment. All right, talking to the SRC. But you should not be destroying windows and library and all of that. All right, that's not the way university students behave. It's like if you don't like what's on TV, you're going to damage the TV, then you can't watch TV. I just heard that the financial aid officers they opened the hose pipes and they wet. Now students can't come and see the financial aid staff. And it just doesn't make sense to me. It's my personal opinion, right? My view. Okay. So does that answer your question? I'll post this about.
Yes,
right.
sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll post that in the WhatsApp group as well, so that you know where you saw that, right? Desktop. Right. So that was that. Okay. Now, I'd like you to go to the Google. I told you Google's my best friend, right? Google certificates, right? Google certificate courses. You go to Google certificate courses and you can learn right. So because we're learning about introduction to computers and computer skills, I would like you to go and get certified. So before you complete your diploma, you have a certificate and you can learn about it from Google itself, right? So here's Google Get Certified. Let's get certified. And this is going to be your assessment. I would want you to do an assessment with Google. Right? So I need to select an account, which is my Gmail account. And now that we are working remotely and we are online, so you have some spare time, I would like you to click on I agree. Yes, let's accept all cookies. I'll talk to you what a cookie is. Right. Okay, so there we go. So let's go and search on the Google certifications. So you want to learn computer skills. So you're going to type in the computer skills, right? So search for a certificate in Google, and this is going to be part of your practical work. Oh, they didn't find anything. All right, let's go and see if there's anything that will assist me. All right, let's MSWRD, right? MS Word. I want to learn a skill in MS Word. They couldn't find anything there. Let's go to coding, right? I know there's something about coding, right? But we'll talk more about this at the next lecture. Right, so let's go back to, right. So is there anything on coding? The other site that you can search for is on Microsoft Education. Education, Microsoft, right? Microsoft Education. And let me go and search for education. Let's search products for your school. So there we go. So some of you are new to Microsoft Teams. You can learn about Teams, how you're going to use Teams. And there's also get started. Microsoft Education. So I've given you two links. I'll share this in the group for you. Is it education, EDUCAT, education.microsoft. Oh, reload. Right, I'll share this Google course with you. There's other, like I said, there's other things that you can search for. So you become a little more computer literate. Right? Don't need that. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking for some skills shop. So you become certified. There we go. There's a certification, right? There's a certification. I'll share that in the on the WhatsApp group, right? Right, that's one I want. And Microsoft Education. Let me do that again. MICROSOFT, Microsoft Education. Education. Okay, you can go look through this site as well, right? And if you are also interested in becoming computer literate, search free online computer courses. Right. Ah, there we go. Amazon. Oh, I've been doing that over the holiday. I was doing right, training and certification, computer basics for beginners. Right. Look at that. There's free courses if you are interested in learning about computer security, computer basics, free online training, free computer literacy courses. Right. Even Harvard University, CS50. I did this course some years ago. Right, CS50, Introduction to Computer Science. Right, there's another course. Right. Ah, there's a lovely course to do. Introduction to Computer Science. Right, a course from Harvard University. Right. Let's see if there's another course that. Oh, let's go and view all their courses. They have a course on into programming, computer programming. That may be a little hectic right now, but there we go. All right, class. Right. Is there any more questions? Anybody have a question for me?
No.
When is the next lecture? All right. The next lecture. Thank you for that.
No.
Right. The next lecture. According to my timetable. Right. Timetable. The next lecture is next week. Right. Next week, Monday. Right. Monday at 3. Right. Monday at 3. Okay. That's shipping and logistics. Right. Shipping and logistics. Right. We're not sure whether it's online or not because we don't know whether there's going to be any protest action or whether the DUT management would have sorted out the issues with the SRC and the protesting students. All right. Why do you want my email? You want my email address? Okay, I'll share that with you. Right.
So on Monday it will be the logistic kids, and then on Wednesday it will be us nautical science kids.
I'd actually like it if I can join all of you all together in one go. Right? I'd like to join all of you together. Can we keep in touch on WhatsApp if you don't mind?
Yes, sir, no problem.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there's people running out of battery life and no electricity. Let me just stop the recording. I'll stop the recording, right? Stopping it. Right. So